all the wounds have healed, and what we couldn't do after 2011, we have finally done it. India have won the T20 World Cup. I want to say that again. India have won the T20 World Cup. You know, I had so much I wanted to say, but I think I will tear up. So I just want to cut away to our very calm and composed experts, Zach and Michael, because they know how to handle pressure. They know how to win the big tournaments. We are just crazy fans who go absolutely crazy. And that's what's happened. Zach, Michael, you all heard The Office. Our studio was shaking with the amount of sound and noise.
You can imagine
wow.
if the kind of emotions running here and the team who actually lived through that and the pressure and the ups and downs of the game, you know, all those emotions also coming out there on the field, isn't it? Everyone is letting it out and holding the nerves, winning the match. It was a great finals.
What a final.
Yeah,
what
I mean,
a final.
you know, you can't expect a better final than this. Two teams having not lost a single game right throughout in the tournament. Fighting it out there, and it was a very evenly fought contest. In the end, of course, the team which kept believing, hold on to the nerves, managed to win the game. But on the whole, it was a great game of cricket to watch.
Michael, you know, like Zach said, the team that kept believing, held on to their nerves, went on to win the game. As fans, you know, there are two kinds of fans. Those fans who suddenly give up midway saying, no chance, this is not happening. And those fans who are optimistic up until the last minute and hold it by the thread. So we've seen all these fans, and that's what is so exciting about sport. You get to see people's true nature. You get to see what people go on, feel under pressure. What a game it's been.
Yeah, brilliant game of cricket. I mean, it's been a good World Cup. And I'll be honest, India are the best team. You know, but South Africa, they put up a fight. What a performance from South Africa. And no one can use the C word against South Africa. They came up, I mean, they had the game won. And then the Klaasen dismissal. I mentioned Bumrah will get all the plaudits. Bumrah is outstanding. He's the best white ball bowler I've seen. I just think he's incredible. But Arshdeep Singh and Hardik Pandya, they held their nerve.
Yes.
Because Klaasen had just done a job on the spinners. And if you're Hardik Pandya, Arshdeep Singh, he's got it in the bank. But he was always going to be the kind of bowler that South Africa was going to kind of block. Just see out his 2 overs. All right, he got the 1 wicket. But it was really going to come down to Arshdeep and Hardik Pandya, and did they deliver? They delivered with great skill. The bowlers started to tail, started a reverse swing, which helps. But, yeah, I feel for South Africa because I don't think they've done a lot wrong. Yet they've won a game of cricket, lost a game of cricket, that they'll be in that dressing room in 5 minutes' time and they'll be thinking, how have we lost that? You know, with Heinrich Klaasen just strolling the game. And, you know, it's just the nature of 2020 cricket from 1 over to the next. 1 over South Africa have won, 2 overs later. They're up against it, but a brilliant game of cricket.
You know, Zach, before we get to all the dissecting with exactly what happened, how proud are you feeling considering the seam bowlers have won us this game? Such a close game, like Michael is saying. We saw what Hardik, we know what Bumrah is. He's a national treasure. Let's just keep that aside. Jasprit Bumrah is a national treasure, but the way Hardik and Arshdeep held their nerve, how proud are you feeling as a seam bowler?
Superb, I think. You know, you look at run a ball for the last 5 overs. And you've seen in this format how many times actually you are able to defend that kind of a total. So unless you do something special, and what we've seen today is something special from all the bowlers. Yes, spinners were having an off day. It was not an easy day out there for them. The South African batters did put them under pressure. But all the seamers, Bumrah, Arshdeep, Hardik, they were so good on the given day when it mattered the most, and that's what good teams do. They've been playing good cricket through and through, but the beauty of this team was right throughout the tournament we've seen you are not dependent on just one player or 2 individuals or 3 individuals. It's just the collective effort. I think that is something which everyone will be very proud of. When you're walking away from this tournament having won the trophy, everyone in that playing 11, everyone in that squad, you look at the fielding effort, you know, Surya taking that catch at that crucial stage.
Yeah.
You know, that was the moment which would have mattered a lot. Looking at, you know, Miller being on strike, that was South Africa's last hope. And that's why you can't say that, you know, South Africa did what South Africa does in this tournament. Yes. Because it's just the way they played the game. I think I was very impressed with how they approached this run chase. They were ahead of the run chase. They were ahead from India by 20-25 runs. And that's why you need to applaud the seamers' effort, because they pulled India back in the game with their effort.
You know, Zach, Michael, I'm being told the visuals from the ground, we are seeing Rohit Sharma tearing up and thanking the crowd, and the visual of the night, we are seeing Rohit and Hardik hugging each other, crying. I'm getting goosebumps as I talk. I'm not even watching the visuals, but I think I will tear up as well. Michael, as a captain, how important is this? We can see how much Rohit wanted it because, you know, yes, the IPL, he's done it 5 times for Mumbai Indians, but when you put on your tricolour and when you go out there and play for your nation, it doesn't get bigger, it doesn't get better.
Yeah.
He was there in 2007. What a way.
Yeah, well, he joins Kapil Dev, MS Dhoni. There's not many that have lifted a World Cup for India, and he's now in that illustrious list of very special people. He got close in November. You know, I think everyone expects him to lift the World Cup in November, and that's why you've just always got to keep fighting in cricket. You look at Hardik Pandya. It was only a month or so ago, or it seems maybe 2 months ago, we were sat on the sofas here and we were talking about him being booed at the Wankhede from a 40,000 crowd supporting his team, but they're booing him. And look at him today, he's going to be a part of a team that's lifted the world, and he's played a huge part. He's bowling, he didn't bowl in the IPL much. And everyone's talking, why aren't you bowling? Well, he's delivered with the ball for India throughout the whole World Cup. And when it mattered most, I have to mention that catch. The catch by Sky, we've talked about fielding throughout the World Cup. That's going for 6. That ball goes for 6 with Miller still on strike. He needs 10 off 5. He's winning the game for South Africa. So it's a brilliant piece of skill. I guess most fielders at that stage would have probably just thought, just pat it back. Just make sure it doesn't go to the boundary and goes to 6. But he had the coolness, and with his feet, he wants to go into ballet. He was unbelievable with his feet. To keep hold of that ball and to take that catch. Special moment. But for Rohit Sharma, the captain, it's... Yeah, I'll be interested to see what he does from here, because he's pretty much achieved everything in the game, and I think he's, particularly in an Indian white ball jersey, I think he just wanted that trophy. He's got a trophy now, so I'll be interested to see what he does after this.
Zach, you've been there, you've done that, you know the emotions, you know the pressure as an Indian cricketer. Social media, the fans, you all get both sides of it, right? And with Rohit and with Hardik, we've seen what happened just a few months ago, and we know how much it meant to Rohit. You know both of them very well. Just, can you take us through what's going on with them right now?
No, I think, see, with the Indian team, Indian cricket right now, I've been mentioning this for a while now, that it's about them not just winning trophy, they're winning trophies. I think, you know, their target has to be right now, who is the world leader with regard to that? It's Australia. Australia have won so many 50-over World Cup and T20s. The collective number is something which you should be chasing because that's the ability you have. You know, that's the setup, that's the force you are creating right now with the different things happening around in Indian cricket, be it the cricketing infrastructure, be it the players coming through. You know, it's about what kind of goal setting you are doing. And keeping that in mind, I think Rohit has been amazing because he's someone who shifted that focus to trophies, to winning these tournaments. And he came close in 50-over World Cup. But now this is something which is going to go a long way because from here, it's always going to be about winning trophies. You know, the individual milestones, he's kind of put it out there that, you know, together, individual achievements, yes, you feel happy about it, you feel satisfied about it. But as a team, if you're achieving, that goes through generations. And I think that's the goal, that's the mission I think this Indian team should embark on with this amazing victory.
Well, Michael, we sure know it wasn't easy. We'll have a look at that innings progression because, like I said, a lot of pessimistic Indian fans had given up in that phase when Klaasen was going for the attack, especially that 11th to the 15th over. I remember they were going at 13.2 and 66 for 1 is what they got. So at that point, easy to say that a lot of Indian fans were, well, justified in losing hope with the way Klaasen was playing.
Yeah, I mean, Klaasen's wicket was the key, but you've always got Jasprit Bumrah's 2 overs. You know, you can see South Africa played it brilliantly because they knew they had to get ahead of it. they got ahead of it because they knew that Jasprit was coming on to bowl, and then he produced a bit of magic. But it's the Hardik Pandya wicket getting Klaasen out. Another 2 overs of Heinrich Klaasen, that game's done.
Yep.
You know, he just got into his zone, he got into his rhythm. His ability to hit sixes over the offside, over the onside, you know, he's the best in the world at doing that now. He's just incredible at hitting the ball. And once he gets into his rhythm, he's almost impossible to stop. You know, he hit, I think it was a Kuldeep Yadav googly off the back foot over extra cover. It went miles. It hit the roof.
Yeah.
There's no one can play that kind of stroke in the world. And, you know, sometimes with South Africa, you feel that, you know, they gift the opposition a victory. You know, they panic a little. They didn't panic today. They were up against an incredible seam bowling skill set in those last 3 or 4 overs. India just produced magic. They really did make it difficult. And, you know, once you get the ball just tailing a little bit towards the back end, it's very difficult to kind of line the bowlers up. And, yeah, you could just sense that the crowd, everything around Rohit Sharma and the whole team, it was... yeah, it's special when India are delighted just to get over the line, and they'd rather it be probably an easier game. But I think when you sit back after the game and you've won a tight one, you actually prefer winning it when it's like, particularly when South Africa have played good cricket, because I think the whole World Cup, I guess the pitches have been different, and you know the weather's played a little bit of a part, but it's been a fascinating World Cup. Not 100 from an individual batter. It's been the World Cup for the bowlers, and it has been that we've sat here and spoken about bowling more than we have done batting, which is a far cry from what was happening in the IPL. The IPL April, May, we were just talking about sixes and, you know, people getting hundreds, 280s, 270s, where the World Cup's been fascinating because it's been a balance between bat and ball.
Well, you said it's been the World Cup of the bowlers, which is why I want to talk of our achiever of the day, powered by College Dekho, Banayenge India Ka Kal. Zach, what does one say? Jasprit Bumrah every single day comes in and does this. 4 overs, 18. He's given those 14 dot balls and those 2 wickets. You know, like Michael was saying, you know those 2 overs of Bumrah are there. So we know that the South Africans are going to play him out. It's become a thing of it's almost a 16-over match now when you have Bumrah on your side.
You know, there are days when you take 3 far, 4 far, 5 fars, you know, those kind of this thing. But when it matters the most, which is a stage as finals, you know, you got to be able to create that impact, and I think Bumrah did that today. You know, he started off with bowling that peach of a delivery to
beautiful
to the opening batter there, you know, and then it just from there you knew that, you know, Bumrah, those 2 overs, once it got to that excess expensive over, after that what was India's chance? You know, it's about turning to Bumrah. You have to deliver now. You have to pull us back in the game. And he has not disappointed. He got Marco Jansen out. Miller at that stage was very watchful. But the moment he got that opportunity of getting Marco, it just bowled another peach of a delivery. Just enough swing on there. Didn't have a clue, Jansen there. And, you know, that was the game there.
Well, Michael, you know, you spoke about the delivery to Reza Hendricks. I think Bumrah has a plan. He has a process which only he knows because, you know, Paras Bhamre has spoken about how they don't interfere in Bumrah's plans because he knows his plans, he executes his plans, and what a delivery it was because he didn't know which way it was going to come in and it went on, held its line. Yeah,
I mean, he obviously is a great bowler that plans to bowl against all the different batters, but you've still got to have the skill sets and you've got to have the know-how to know when to bowl which delivery. I mean, that first one to Reza Hendricks is it's an absolute peach. He's probably angled in, he's probably going on to hit leg stump, and at the last minute he whips away and hits the off stump. That ball that gets Jansen, again, just angled in, it through the gate. But it's more than that. It's the other deliveries that, you know, the batters are trying to hit him and he just kind of follows them so they don't get any width, and then he sees them get a little bit of kind of room and he throws it out a bit wider. He's got that slower ball that's a genius delivery. I honestly think he's the best seam bowler that's played white ball cricket. If you can tell me a better seam bowler, I know Markram was special and there's been many others to mention, but I just think he's got this amazing action ability and he's got the pace, he's got all the different skill sets, and he does it under pressure day in, day out. It's not just 2 or 3 times a World Cup, it's pretty much every single game.
Yes.
Even in the game against Australia, he got hit. Travis head hit him in the first over in the power play. He still came back to win India the game.
Yes.
Because he got Travis Head with the slow ball later on in the game. So even if you get him in 1 over, he's still got 3 to get you with. How you're facing him, how you try and hit him around, I've got no idea, because I've seen many try it and there's not many that are succeeding. He's a genius.
Michael, would you have liked to play Bumrah with the way he's bowling?
No, I wouldn't. I'd like to get down the other end and watch my partner, but no. I just don't know how you hit him. And these players of this era are great players. I mean, there's some real strikers who can hit a ball, but I don't see many players that are playing Bumrah with any kind of confidence.
All right, guys. I mean, I hope Bumrah continues to give guidance to the people to follow, and he's been an achiever of our day. If you also want the right career guidance, then visit collegedekho.com. Banayenge India ka kal. Talking about the kal, my heart is skipping a beat. I was not expecting this at all, guys. I have got some very, very big news. I thought I won't hold my tears back because India won, but Virat Kohli has announced his retirement from T20 cricket. Did you all see that coming? From T20I, we're not going to be seeing Virat Kohli again. What are these surprises one after the other, Zach? Did you see that coming?
Well, I think you look at the T20 format and, you're always looking at what's happening around in the Indian cricket. You have a lot of players who've been ready. You can just see that it's about that time. And as individuals in the team being part of it, obviously, you played a huge role in taking Indian cricket forward, taking it to the heights. And I think Virat has been in that category, for being a leader, captaining the side, has done everything. So you want to actually pick that moment of for yourself, So this format, obviously, he's got plenty of work left with regard to the other formats, which he will, I'm sure, continue. But you got to prioritize, you got to focus on things, and you also got to think of where the team is heading. And this is the highest point, isn't it? You've won that World Cup trophy. You know that there are enough opportunities to be given to the other guys. So you don't want to be that guy. You want to be actually the guy who is saying, I want Indian cricket to go forward, and this is how I see it. I have done this in this format, won the trophy. That is something which is very important, and then now look ahead. So I'm sure the 50-over World Cup, the World Test Championship is something which will be the priority now when you're looking at ticking the boxes. So I think the individual knows. And he's been around for a while to know what is and pick his time and the moment. So it's his moment, his glory.
Well, Zach, you've been there, but crazy fans like us, Michael, you know how crazy Indian fans are, me included. It almost feels like there's one eye tearing up with happy tears and the other eye tearing up with sad tears. It's such a happy, sad feeling because, yes, India's won the T20 World Cup, but not seeing Virat Kohli again play T20 cricket is heartbreaking for an Indian fan.
Yeah, but again, Virat's got impeccable timing, and I think it's the perfect way to go out. I mean, he's just got a good 50 in a World Cup final. He was the backbone of the innings to get them to that decent score. His team have won the World Cup, so you can't leave on better circumstance. You can walk away knowing that you've achieved everything in T20 cricket. Look, you're going to see him playing in the IPL for a few more years, so it's not the last of Virat in T20 cricket. And I agree with Zach. I think the Indian depth and talent now, Yashasvi Jaiswal, there's many others, Sanju Samson to name just a couple. There's so many that will come into this group now and almost take the team forward. I put on social media earlier today, I thought if India could win this today, I think they'll end up winning quite a few trophies in the next few years. It's just winning that one. It's been 10 years since they've won a trophy. And in my opinion, they haven't won enough. They've got so much talent, so much depth to the squad. They've got pretty much everything covered in Test match cricket, 50-over cricket, T20 cricket, that the rest of the world will be probably looking out going, oh no, India have got that first one out of the way. And now they've got a Champions Trophy in February time around Pakistan, 2 years time a T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka and India. They're going to be so powerful. I guess the World Test Match Championship final, that'll be the next thing. They've lost 2 now in the UK. They'll want to try and win that. I'd back them to do so. But Virat Kohli to leave on a high, to lift that trophy, probably doing it just now as we're speaking, no better way to go out. He deserves today. He deserved that 50. He deserved to lift the trophy. And now I guess he'll be proud. He can watch the next generation come through, try to emulate what he's just done today. And as I said before, we'll be seeing, I don't know if he'll play like MS Dhoni for many, many more years in the IPL, but we'll be seeing Virat whacking a white ball in T20 cricket in the IPL.
All right, let's have a look at what Virat had to say in his post the match. He said, "This was my last T20 World Cup and this is what we wanted to achieve. One day you feel you can't get a run, then things happen. God is great and I got the job done for the team on the day it mattered. Now or never, last T20 for India, wanted to make the most of it, wanted to lift the cup, wanted to respect the situation rather than force it. This was an open secret. It's time for the next generation to take over." Zach?
Yeah, exactly. it's like I've kind of realized that it's the vision, right? And the leaders need to show the way. So I think he's showing the way to all the youngsters as well. It's about having goals. So the goal was obviously to win the cup, and they've achieved that. Now what next is always the question. And when you look at the likes of Yashasvi Jaiswal, who have been looked ready, Shubman Gill also not been part of this squad, that there are enough players which are ready, and if you are able to make way for them in a way, right, which is going to go a long way. So you are leading the way in that regard, and timing it to perfection by winning the cup. And then saying that, okay, I'm going on a high. You scored in the finals, you contributed, and it's still, the cricket is still going to stay. There is enough things. It's not that it's the end of the road for him with regard to international cricket. Like I said, 50-over game, he's still going to continue. Test matches is still going to continue. But now the focus is going to shift to the new goals, the next achievement, what you want. And I think it's the World Test Championship which they'll be eyeing.
Well, Michael, he is the player of the match today. So how better to leave international T20Is than get a player of the match and win the trophy for your country. But if you have to remember this innings, when you talk about it probably 10 years down the line, what are you going to remember of today's innings? So me, that lofted six that he hit is going to stay etched in my memory.
Yeah, I mean, he came out of the traps and got off to a flyer. Just, all Virat's shots are always pleasant. The punches through the offside. Played a straight drive down the ground in the first over. Yeah, those sixes, he's played a few of them. He hasn't got a huge amount of runs in this year's World Cup, but those sixes over mid-wicket that he's playing off the left armers, he's playing with great grace. The one thing I'll say about Indian cricket, I honestly think the Indian second team, if you picked a second team, I don't think they'd have been far off getting to the final. I think India have got that much depth, that much talent. You go Rinku, Shubman, Yashasvi, Sanju Samson. That's just to name a few. I honestly think if you'd have said we could have two teams in the World Cup, India, you wouldn't have been far. I remember back in the day, Australia used to have an Australia 8 and England tri-series in Australia. And it was always Australia versus Australia A in the final. If there had been an India A in this World Cup with the talent that you have in India, it probably would have been an all-India final. You've got that much depth. So Virat is moving on. He's getting out of the way. But he knows that Indian cricket, in particular T20 kind of squad, it's in great hands.
Well, it's in great hands, but like I said, all emotional Indian cricket fans will be feeling that void for some time. Yes, there's a team ready, but it's Virat Kohli not going to be playing T20I cricket. So take a bow to the king for everything that he's done, for what he's done on the big day. And I'm sure this memory will be remembered for many, many years to come. I want to quickly have a look at the bowling card. We spoke about Bumrah and what he did, but we also spoke about Hardik and Arshdeep. The spinners were a bit expensive, Zach, but overall, as long as the job's done and someone gets the job done, that's what you want.
Well, I mean, that's where I was praising South African batters because when you're looking at this bowling lineup and how do you tactically play this game, is basically you in the middle phase, when the spinners are on, you look to take them on. And that's what South African batters did. They scored 106 runs in just 9 overs of spin bowling. And that forced Rohit to get Bumrah early in the innings. And that was the whole plan. If Bumrah doesn't bowl 2 overs at the back end, you are giving yourself, your power hitters, the best chance. So that's how they were approaching the game. Hardik was used differently in this innings. We've seen that in the semis as well. Rohit was just holding Hardik back. Even today he did that, came on to bowl at 10 over mark. Usually we've been saying Hardik bowl in the power play, maybe 1 over, and as soon as the power play is over, maybe 1 or 2. That's how he was looking to stack up. But today's game, Rohit was thinking differently, I felt. Kuldeep coming into bowl in the power play, that was element of surprise there. So he was stacking up the overs differently. But South Africans were actually putting spinners under pressure, and seamers coming back and holding their nerves and making sure the kind of overs they bowled in that back end, and particularly Hardik getting that Klaasen's wicket. The slower one, that was a well thought out plan at that stage. Looked like that. He just backed himself to go, anticipated that, okay, what Klaasen must be thinking. We've seen Hardik predominantly bowl those short pitch deliveries or into the pitch slower ones, but he maybe was not ready for the wide slower one. Resulted in the wicket, well supported by the fielders as well. Surya taking that catch off Miller, easing that pressure off. Otherwise, it would have been a different last over altogether. So all in all, I think all the bowlers, Arshdeep especially, a special mention has to be given to him because Bumrah you all expect, but when Arshdeep was bowling those away going delivery to Keshav Maharaj at that stage, that over was also a very crucial one.
Michael, you said it, that they've far from the choker tag that they have, because they've batted beautifully, South Africa. If at all Klaasen had waited on a little longer, they could have been CH champions and not the chokers. But unfortunately, Hardik Pandya got that crucial wicket of Heinrich Klaasen. This batting card, Quinny de Kock was looking very good, but that wicket of Tristan Stubbs, very important, you feel?
Yeah, I mean, Stubbs was playing great. Also, Quinton de Kock getting out to Arshdeep, he just put him over kind of fine leg for a boundary. And Quinny was just starting to get going. It wasn't his most fluent innings, but you just felt with Klaasen at the other end, they were getting something kind of going between them. Left hand, right hand was always going to be a key, with that wind going across the ground and to that kind of shorter side. But I guess, Tristan Stubbs was playing great. He's a quality player. We're going to see loads of him over the years. He's just got that real presence. He's big, he's strong. There's not many batting units really dismantle Indian spinners like that. 106 for 1 in 9 overs. That's taking them on and taking them on seriously. I've not seen many teams do that to an Indian spin attack. So I think South Africa deserve a lot of credit.
Yes.
I think of all the teams in the tournament, they were probably the one team that could get close to India on a given day like today, and they were so close. They were a Heinrich Klaasen, one more over, close of winning that trophy. That's pretty much the finest margin. Or a Sky catch in that last over, that goes over Sky's head, or he drops in, it goes for 6. You'd probably back Miller to win the game. So South Africa are so close to winning a World Cup. And with this squad, I don't think South Africa and the squad, I don't think it's going to change much going into the Champions Trophy, and probably not change too much for the next World Cup. They'll come again. South Africa are here for a period with this white ball team. They've got some quality.
Zach, they have been battling history. There's so much when it comes to pressure games and South Africa, but they will be proud of this campaign. They played very well today. What lessons can they take back from this campaign?
The way they played today's game is an example of that. I think they fought very well. It looked like they were there to win the trophy, and they had that belief. They fell short, yes. That's how the game goes. You got to take it in your strides. But I think this team, you got to give full credit to. They'll be very happy. There are a lot of positives from this campaign for them. And like Vaughan is saying, it's about now the next tournament, Champions Trophy. This team will gain a lot from this kind of a campaign, even though they've not crossed the line. But they have a lot to be proud of. And you look at the next T20 World Cup in 1.5 years' time, this team will be even more settled. They have all these young guys who are going to be able to grow in confidence, play a lot of franchise cricket as well, learn from this. But white ball cricket, I think they're going to be forced to reckon with.
Michael, you feel that we will be seeing Quinton de Kock again the next World Cup? Where do you see his future going?
Well, I'm not too sure about Quinton de Kock. I mean, he's retired from obviously 50-over cricket, Test match cricket. He might hang around for T20 cricket. You know, he's obviously playing in all the franchise leagues around the world, and I hope he does. You know, he's such a class act, and you know, I guess South Africa will have, you know, some players that they could bring in for Quinny de Kock, but they can't replace that quality just yet. So, as Zach said, it's 18 months till the next one. It's not that long a time. It's just a couple of IPLs and he's back, obviously playing. If he's playing well and he's striking the ball as he has done in this World Cup, I'm pretty sure South Africa will want him to play.
But Zach, like you were saying, they look like a very, very solid side. So going into the future, because it looks like a very balanced side. We've seen what the bowlers have done, and we know what that middle order did. Unfortunately for them, Heinrich didn't really fire this World Cup. But once they get the top order firing, a very balanced side.
No, it's balanced side all around, be it bowling or batting for that matter. You've seen today they've used Stubbs, pushed him up the order, and he delivered at that stage. So they got that flexibility as well. You have power of Stubbs, you have power of Klaasen, you have Miller, who's a great finisher of the game. And at the top, Markram is also had off tournament. You know, he could have contributed more with the bat, but he is brilliant with captaincy. So he's the right guy to take this team forward. I think there is something nice happening in that camp. When you're looking at the bowling department as well, Marco is going to get better as he plays more international games. You have experience of Rabada, who is already a proven match winner. And you have Heinrich who's got raw pace. Spin also, you're looking at a decent spin attack with Keshav Maharaj and Shamsi. So they have a lot going for when you're looking at putting up a squad together for any conditions.
Yes.
I think, you know, that's something which South Africa is looking at, and they will be able to compete quite well, I guess, going forward.
Well, like Zach and Michael are saying, it's a very solid side to look forward to in the future. But India did go past South Africa in the World Cup final, and we are the champions. I think, Michael, Zach, we can all sing "We are the champions."
Yes, we are the champions.
Because India have done it. And
well, you got your birthday present.
I got my birthday present. That's what I was waiting for. That otherwise I wouldn't be smiling at all. But like I said, we are the champions. It was nice having the "We are the champions" going, but I couldn't have asked for a better birthday. I've been flooded on my phone and my social media because I'm just really happy that we've put past 19th of November, and now 29th of June is a date that will be remembered for many, many, many years to come. 2007. And now, Zach, 2024, we saw that very young Rohit Sharma in 2007, and now the grown-up, mature captain with tears in his eyes. Life comes back to a full circle, doesn't it?
He was motivating each and every individual there in that camp enough. I think, you know, he's someone who over the years now we knows how to go after these trophies. You know, so that is something which he will take a lot of pride in. And like I'm saying, you know, it's a new era. I think you're looking at 2 trophies right now. You should be looking at many more there in that, and add the 50 over trophies to that. So total, you got 4 right now.
Yes.
And the Champions Trophy trophies also you can count. And so you can look at where Indian cricket is heading. And I think this is just the beginning of creating that legacy.
Yes.
I think legacy is something which Indian cricket should go after. And all these young guns are going to carry that responsibility on their shoulders. And all the senior players right now in that camp are going to be the ones which are going to actually create that kind of a scenario for them in the dressing room and that inspiration.
Well, Michael, you were the one who had got the best prediction right back in 2020. The prediction game doesn't matter because the prediction you got right in Cricbuzz Live in 2020 was Rohit Sharma taking over as a white ball captain, and he's taken over and done what he has done. Are you happy to see the prediction come true?
I predict a lot of things that go wrong. So. Finally, I got a couple right. He's a wonderful captain. You know, you can just see he's good fun. He brings a bit of joy to the game. He's obviously got that intensity required and that steel that you obviously need as well. But I think he's a fun character. I think he brings a bit of humour. It's not too serious all the time, which again, it's important. They're under enough pressure as it is playing the game with billions watching back home in India. I think you need someone that can just chill you out a little bit in the dressing room. So I can imagine that they'll be partying long and hard in Barbados tonight, and then so they should be, and then they'll come back to India, no doubt, to a great reception. But he deserves a lot of credit. You know, the way that he's handled this group and the way he's got this group playing the modern white ball game. You know, he got them playing the 50-over game properly, just didn't manage to get over the line in the final. I just thought today, oh, wait a minute, it was Travis Head in November, it's going to be Heinrich Klaasen today. You know, there'd have been awful memories when you're out in the field and you can see it's going the wrong way. I'm sure loads of things would have gone through Rohit's mind about November and Ahmed about, oh no, we're going to miss it again. And then suddenly Bumrah delivers and Hardik delivers and Arshdeep delivers and there's a catch on the boundary. The emotions that a sports person goes through, particularly down the back end of a victory, because you're going from one to the other quite quickly. You can completely understand why he just went, as soon as the last ball was ball, he just went flat on his face. Yes. He was just probably crying into the turf. No one knows why you do these things when you finish a game, but you know, the emotions take over. It's great for Rohit Sharma. He's one of the great people of the game.
The great people of the game. That reminds me of another very great person of the game, the wall that has stood behind this team. Rahul Dravid's tenure comes to an end, and it's again very heartbreaking. It feels like, you know, when you're passing out of school, college, and you're heartbroken, but you're happy, but it's just so many emotions all coming together. The last season of Friends, it just feels like all that, right? Because two nice guys, there's Rohit Sharma, who's won the trophy, and then there's Rahul Dravid, the man who said, don't do this for Dravid, because he's just so downright humble, Zach. This is his end of the tenure. Your teammate, you've been with him for so long. What does he ever express those emotions? Does he ever?
He does, I think. You know, there is that side to him for sure. He's a very intense guy. There is no doubt about that. Very methodical. Very process oriented, and I think that's something which all the boys were also enjoying. You know, you could make out.
Yes.
That camp was a very happy camp. They were buying into the whole thought process of where the team is heading. The tenure is coming to an end, but it's not going to be end of the road for Rahul Dravid. That much I know. You know, it's something or someone who is always going to be around with Indian cricket in some way or the other. Currently. The decision has to be made, so he's made that decision. It's I'm sure was not an easy decision to be made, but he's taken that. You know, he knows, he's the kind of a guy who knows what his priorities are. Also at this stage, his priorities are different. So he's going to move on from the Indian team. But he will come back for sure, is what my feeling is. He's been around with the Indian cricket right from the under-19 days. So few of the boys he has coached since the under-19 days. He's been part of the NCA. He's played a huge role in terms of shaping or spending time with all these guys at some stage or the other with different teams. So yeah, the cricket connection is going to go on, and I hope that he doesn't take too long before he comes back and joins the team.
Well, Zach, who spent a lot of time with Rahul Dravid, has given that kind of assurance to us that he's somebody who can't stay away for very long. Let's quickly have a look at all that he's done in his tenure, because there's a long list there. Won 11 of the 14 bilateral T20 series, 8 of the 11 ODI series, and 6 out of the 8 test games. Recorded the biggest wins in terms of runs. Test win 434, ODI win 317, T20I win 168. From September 23 to Jan 24, India were ranked number 1 across all formats. And of course, the most important of the lot which could not fit in there is he's won the T20 World Cup for India. Michael, you've spent time with him, you've played opposite him, you have immense respect for him. It just, the work ethics that he brings to a team, the passion he has for the game. What do you have to talk about Dravid's tenure?
Again, I mean, a bit like Rohit, he's one of the great people of the game. He's honest as they come, hard worker. I knew as soon as he got the Indian job that the rest of the world were going to be in trouble. I really do. I mean, I'm just staggered that they haven't got over the line in, the World Test Championship, and the World Cup in November. But, you know, what he's brought is a huge amount. He was a consistent player. You know, day in, day out, he delivered. And it's no surprise that India have become very, very consistent under his watch as a coach, because, you know, he'd demand that the processes were right. And, if, you know, you hear about the processes all the time in sport, but it really is as simple as that. If you deliver your process day in, day out, the performance looks after itself. And I think throughout Rahul's, you know, kind of term in office, if you like, as the coach, India have been so consistent. They've very rarely had bad weeks. You know, they might have been beaten, but it's because the opposition have played really good cricket. I don't ever remember seeing an India side that has fallen over, you know, and just collapsed, you know, and giving up. You know, that's, again, Rahul Dravid at his finest. He would never, ever give up. Never, ever would he throw the towel in as a player, as a batter, as a captain. Everything was purely dedicated to try and do the best for India, and he's done exactly the same as an Indian coach. I'm predicting Gautam Gambhir will take over from Rahul Dravid, and you know, some people will say, oh, there's pressure on Gautam now because they've won a World Cup, but I don't know. I think I'd be absolutely delighted. If you're into coaching, I would say if there was one team that you'd want to coach, it'd be the Indian side with that much talent, because there's so many trophies to play for now in the next few years that Gautam will know that he's getting a fine squad with all the talent, all the skill sets, the right amount of mix of experience and youth, with plenty of young players that can be pushing those senior players to make sure that they kept on the toes as well. So, yeah, Rahul Dravid's leaving Indian cricket in a great state, and that's all you can ask. When you get a job, can you leave it in a better position when you walk away? He's certainly done that.
All right, it's just that kind of a day where I can go on and on as a crazy Indian fan. When you've got Zach and Michael in the house, you can go on with the questions. But I want to quickly ask you all who your MVP players for the World Cup for India have been. Zach,
it's very hard to pick.
Tough one, very tough one.
Well, I'm just going on that right list in the middle.
Yeah.
Jasprit Bumrah's been absolutely outstanding. I don't remember. I mean, I just remember one over, Travis Head over. That's it. I don't think I remember one other over where the batters have got the better of him. Yeah, he's a standout.
He's been incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
Zach, for you?
Yeah, I think pretty much all the bowlers. If you have to pick what has happened in the World Cup for the Indian team, how it happened, and Bumrah is leading the way with that. You know, he never disappoints. So consistent. He's a bankable bowler.
Yes.
Any situation, any time of the game, you turn to Bumrah. Good situation. You might look at some other bowler, but tough situation, you only think of one.
Yes.
And I think that's the most valuable player right there for you.
Well, the MVP is Jasprit Bumrah, but to think that we've won this World Cup without Mohammad Shami, we knew what a backbone he's been in Indian cricket, and the bowlers have won us this tournament. It says a lot. But Michael, your takeaways from India's campaign this World Cup?
Just the best team have won. You know, I thought, if we're brutally honest, I thought India were the best team in the 50-over World Cup as well. They just didn't get over the line in the final, but from pretty much their start in New York, which was a bit tricky because the pitch was a little bit indifferent. That game against Pakistan was a tough game to get over the line. I guess this final has been the closest that another team has got to the Indian side. But yeah, they're a tremendous team. They've got pretty much everything covered, and with a huge amount of depth in the squad, and with many other players waiting to get into the squad. So it's no surprise to me that India have won this World Cup.
But Zach, you know, it has been that World Cup where bowlers have dominated, and we've seen again Rohit come out and show the intent that he's shown us. We saw what he did against Australia. Clearly, it had hurt him, what happened on 19th November. He had held it, but then he let the bat do the talking.
Well, I think crucial stages of the tournament,
Yes.
you know, that is something which you've seen how he contributed. So that was his impact. Captaincy, yes, of course, it is very evident how he's managed the whole team, how he's used different tactics against different opposition, different situations. You know, he was very spot on with all those kind of attributes of the game. So that is something which was a standout for everyone. You expect that from Rohit, but you know, everything has to come together as we move along. And that's why the Australia knock which you're talking about, that was so important. It just created that emotion as well, that, you know, this team had kept us away from the trophy, and we have to make sure now And who's leading that? Rohit with a 92, and the kind of approach he's had, the kind of body language he presented in that game is contagious. So you suddenly have that belief going forward from there. England was another hurdle. It's like Adelaide. That's what happened. So that emotion, that thought process, I guess, just kind of carried on to that game. And then it became like, okay, if we've done it to Australia, now it's England's time, and you go out there. So that was the kind of booster shot you needed at that stage in the tournament, which was presented very nicely, and all the individuals, they went on to play their part in making sure that happens. And I think today's game was an evenly fought game, and that's when you needed everyone to have that belief. And that's what the team had. I think the team which had that emotion very strong, they managed to win the game. And the great example of that is Surya's catch. I mean, it couldn't have been a better summation of everything, that everyone wanting that, and everyone were ready to believe that no matter what the situation is, it's going to happen. And Surya, that stage, believing that and pulling out that catch, such a crucial catch at that stage. I think it was just the energy. So everyone, that's why needs to be congratulated.
Yes.
Because it goes back to, I keep saying, Aksa's selection in the squad.
Absolutely.
So that is the initial start of all this, which you're talking about right now after winning the trophy. But that moment was so crucial, and that's why the selectors need to be congratulated on that. The think tank of the Indian team needs to be congratulated, because they were on the right track. They believed in that, and they continued with that. And obviously then Rahul, Virat, Rohit, you name it. And all these guys, I'm sure, is the core of this team. Which are having that very transparent communication, conversations, and getting everyone on the same page.
Yes.
I think what was very evident from this team was everyone looked like they knew. And everyone has been very clear about their roles. And there was no slight bit of doubt about, is my position in danger, or is my role not being defined.
Dubey, like they backed him all through, and we saw what he did today.
Yeah, I mean, except for maybe Ravindra Jadeja, you feel for the guy that maybe he was feeling that pressure a bit in this tournament. But on the whole, the team has been winning, and they've continued with him as well right throughout the tournament. So yeah, apart from that, I think everyone were like ready for it, and that's what we've been saying, isn't it? That this team is looking that it's ready to take that final step, and that's how they won the tournament.
Well, Michael, for you, your biggest takeaway, one story from the entire campaign, we've seen Afghanistan and how close they've come. We've seen what USA have done and surprised the entire world. We've seen, unfortunately, Pakistan drop out. We've seen England, who made it to the semi-finals, but unfortunately couldn't go through the bowler-friendly tracks. What is it that stood out for you?
Oh, I think, obviously United States beating Pakistan, that was a great moment for them and for the game. Afghanistan have been tremendous to make the semi-final, and the pitch that they got in the semi-final in Trinidad was never going to be helpful for their style of cricket. I just think it's been a great World Cup. I think it's been a World Cup where it's been unpredictable. No one would have predicted that New Zealand would have gone at the first hurdle. Sri Lanka, they've struggled. Bangladesh, they kind of snuck through, and they're going through a bit of transition. They probably need to have a look at bringing a few younger people through into their team. England have got a similar kind of opportunity now. I think there'll be changes within the England side. There's only really, I think, India, South Africa. They're the two teams. Australia, I don't know David Warner, but they've got Jake Fraser-McGurk to replace Warner. There's a few teams that do need a rejigging, but there's two or three teams that I just think we'll see the same kind of team go again in the Champions Trophy in February, and also the T20 World Cup in 18 months' time. So, I've really enjoyed the World Cup. I like watching cricket when I'm not sure what's going to happen. I like unpredictability, and I like it when there's a balance between bat and ball, and there's the odd ball going past the outside edge, and it's a bit of spin, a bit of seam. And we've had all of that in this World Cup. I think some of the batters will probably say, oh, come on, it's been a bit too bowler-friendly. But, you speak to the batters in the IPL, and it was far too much in favour of the batters. So somewhere in the middle of the IPL and this World Cup is the perfect style of cricket wicket for T20.
Well, Zach, I'm being told that Rahul Dravid is seeing him shout and in excitement. So clearly the emotion I was asking you about has all come out because he's completely gotten his emotions out. But, you know, how does it feel when you have this big win under your belt? It's the World Cup. You've won 2011. For every fan, you know, we have that memory and what happens. But is it all a haze or does it actually sink in? Does it take 2-3 days for it to sink in?
I think it doesn't sink in on that day itself, for sure. I think that's something right now everyone will be going through the motions for sure. But it's a kind of a relief. You know, that's the right word maybe of describing because there's so much goes into so much of planning, preparation, that sacrifices. You talk about, you know, having those kind of goals, and then everything is just leading towards that.
Yes.
And then finally you take that last step and you win it. You know, so it's just a relief. I think, you know, and that's what Rohit Sharma was maybe expressing with that body language, that he just lied flat on the ground, saying that done. That's the drive, isn't it? It's so consuming, you know, and once you achieve it, you just kind of feel that, okay, now I can breathe easy.
Yes.
You know, now I can look ahead for the next thing, but let me enjoy it. So it's like mixed emotions which you get into post winning the trophy as well.
You know, like Zach is saying, he's won a World Cup. We've just been the fans. It takes time for it to sink in. It's still not sunk in. But the truth is that we are the champions and India have won the World Cup. Well, we are the champions, and there have been a lot of champions all through the World Cup, all through the IPL, answering Mr. Bhattacharya's questions. So let's have a look at Joyda's question for one last time. 3 Punjab-born cricketers have taken 25 or more wickets in T20 World Cup history, one of them being Arshdeep Singh. Who are the other two? Guesses for the last time at all?
No idea.
This is the last question for the World Cup.
Last question for the World Cup, but let's have a look at the answer and also who's won it. Ish Sodhi, and Saeed Ajmal. Well, nice. That's a good one. I don't know the connection really, but all right, Joyda. We've tried. We've really tried, but we've always failed. But there are people who never fail. Let's have a look at who got it correct for this last time. Rajesh Reddy, well done, Mr. Reddy. You are the lucky winner of the last Joy Factor question of this World Cup. So you can keep that as a proud memory. And talking about proud memories, Michael, Zach, who got it? One of you got it. Let's applaud. Sorry, there was too much to clap
Which one?
for.
The prediction?
The prediction.
Yeah, even I got it.
Oh, you all both got it. All right,
yeah.
2 winners then.
I thought you were talking about the rankings there.
No, the rankings we'll see, but you'll have got, it's the last prediction game.
Yes.
You all both got it
The
correct.
best way to play this game is not playing it.
That's what Simon Dole's done, hasn't he?
Exactly.
Michael's all eager to see what's happening with the graphic table there. Ooh, PP has climbed the charts.
I don't know, I'm happy there.
Wow. I've really fallen down. But GK is now on the right-hand side, so I'm sure he's going to come back hungry for the next IPL when we have our guessing game. And I'm pretty certain GK is going to be changing the rules around and he's going to make sure that the conditions suit him a little more. But
He's going to say he's number 1 on the right side.
Yeah, he's top of the league, yeah.
He's top of the league on the right side. Well done, Zach. I think GK is going to take that from you.
You must have already done that.
But like I said, too many emotions running within me. But it's been a really beautiful stint with Cricbuzz. It's the IPL. Michael, you were here. Zach, we missed you. But the World Cup, you were with us all through. So thank you so much.
As always, pleasure.
Congratulations to to India. And Michael, congratulations to India. You love India. We keep seeing your tweets all the time.
Yeah, I do. And England lost to the winners, so we're happy with that.
I mean, not just us, but Deen Dayal's going to be missing you as well when you go back. So you can just fly down, come get your haircuts whenever you want to. I think he gives you a nice sharp haircut here, so you can.
I need to take him to the UK. He'd do a roaring trade.
Well, no, we'll reserve him and keep him saved here so we can get you back soon, at least for your haircuts. But thank you, gentlemen. This really has been a lot of fun. I want to thank every viewer who's watched us and commented, answered Joyda's questions, and come in the morning at 5:30 when we were there. You all were there. It makes us so happy to see just ardent fans of Cricbuzz Live. So thank you so, so much. And thank you, of course, to the entire team of Cricbuzz sitting behind here, sitting behind everywhere. Wasimji and Rajaji, who take care of our food, the most important people on Cricbuzz who are here taking care of everyone. But truly, this World Cup, they've stayed over at night and it's been rough, but this is what the sport does for us. We love the sport, and which is why we are here, because we like to talk about that sport. And again, for the third time, I'm going to say it so it sinks in, India are the champions. And I also want to tell you all another thing. The next time we come here, there's Dhoni here, there's Kapil Dev there, right behind Zach. I'm trying to wonder where we're going to see Rohit fit into our studio. But we will be redesigning our studio to make sure that Rohit is here fitting in. So the next time you all come, you all will see that change, because Rohit Sharma and the boys have done it. It's a very emotional moment. I think I'm going to fall down like Rohit did and weep. So I think it's time for me now to say goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone who have watched. It's been an absolute pleasure.